What's going on? Happy Sunday. I would prefer, obviously, to be doing these things in the shop, but my time has become a very, very tight and valuable commodity to me. So, here I am. Because literally, like, a huge part of my purpose is to continue making these live videos, continue reaching out to my community, continue helping people, and when I don't do it, I literally feel like almost sick. It's really weird. It straight fucks me up. Happy 11/11. Angel numbers, that's weird that I would just be right then when I logged in on that, but I guess that's perfect. What's up, Kyler? How's it going? What's up, Stanley? I think Brandon was in here too. I'm just driving home from church, and PK was talking about forgiveness, man. Woo! I am gonna be honest, man. I caught myself crying, and I realized that there was just so many people in my life that I had I was holding on to these feelings about, things from my parents, things from some of my exes, things that, I had done that I needed to forgive myself for, I just this like crazy, overwhelming reality, realization just took me over, and it was about how we have these things that we hold in our heart, like that life is crazy fucking short. Like it is just amazingly, amazingly short. Like my son is 18 now. I remember him being a baby. And it's happened like in the blink of an eye, it feels like. And I'm sitting here, and most days I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough. There's so much more I have. Like, there's so much on my plate. There's so much more I need to accomplish. And I'm realizing, first of all, that's true, but it's not true that I'm not doing enough. Like, I'm operating at a massive capacity right now. But one of the things that's been holding me back from making making decisions and sticking with them and being consistent with some of them is that I haven't forgiven myself or some other people in those areas of my life, and so I have these deep-seated pains, resentments, or difficulties that I'm avoiding looking at. And when I'm avoiding looking at something like that, it's affecting my decision-making process, and then that decision-making process is tainted as a result of that. So literally, I'm bringing that pain day to day in the decisions that I'm making, and because I'm not addressing it, I'm actually consistently experiencing it. And trauma makes the past present. Trauma makes us feel what happened to us over again, almost like it's happening right then. And yeah, of course, as time goes on, it has less of a long-term, throughout the day type of impact, but that's not really true, because we sit in the back of our heads with this trauma in us and make decisions based off of that while we're experiencing this pain, this trauma, this everything. And it majorly occurred to me that I had to take and really just fucking pray and take a minute and just get right with how I looked at the stuff that has happened to me, especially when I was a kid, man, because I have rationalized that those things that happened to me, physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, that those things were forgivable because those people were obviously in pain too, and they were making poor choices, and there was just bad things that happened. But what I never actually took the time to do was to take that forgiveness in my heart and say, I can let go of that now. And that was a really hard realization to make, man. And like Brandon said, second chances changes people's lives. What's interesting is that the second chance changes the person who forgives life as well. In some of the stuff that I've been working with my son lately and stuff, because he's 18, he's independent, he's stubborn, he's hard-headed, he's everything that I am too, and then some, and his own person. And I've had to cope with and recognize some of my own abandonment issues from, my own parents not being involved in a meaningful way in my life, and being raised by my grandparent. And those things are actually or were actively affecting how I dealt with the situation, because what it meant is that when I had to have confrontation, I was actually feeling those feelings still, and I wasn't confronting the situation with the humility to recognize that I'm a different person, my son's a different person, and the situation is different, and that I really have no power over it other than to try to be a positive influence on him and make sure that he understands that he's loved and that everything is going to work out. And those things are just such powerful concepts that we overlook fucking consistently. Like, I want anybody that watches this or is watching it currently to take a second and ask yourself, like, what do you have deep inside you that you're holding on to in a major way that is absolutely affecting the current reality of your life? Because what happens is we put blinders onto those things because it hurts to look at. And when it hurts to look at, we put the blinders on. And then we continue to behave while we're in pain like an animal that's trapped and is just lashing out or behaving in ways that a trapped and wounded animal would. And we're behaving in those ways as we're taking our actions in our day-to-day lives. Some of us, including myself, are behaving on a consistent basis when it comes to current situations based off of paradigms or wounds emotionally that we received as children. And I have to ask myself, when am I going to stop hurting myself? When am I going to stop hurting me because of something that happened 20 plus fucking years ago, 30 years ago? When am I going to stop hurting me because of that? Because I can't say anymore that thing is hurting me. I have to say that I'm hurting myself. It's like having a wound that I received in battle or something like that, and then just reopening it every couple of weeks because I just don't want to accept that happened. Well, it did happen, and I have to learn to move on from those things. Like, they always say, like, forgiveness is for you, not for the other person, but I don't believe until we see how badly the things that are, like the trespasses against us, are hurting us, until we see how badly it's affecting the ones that we love, that changes for us. I think that it actually continues to be a problem until we recognize that it's absolutely hurting us every second of our lives. And so I decided I was going to take some really powerful action on that today, and I'm always inviting everybody that watches these to take powerful action in their own life. And this one's going to be relatively short and sweet today, but I just want you to really consider how things that are going on with you right now are affecting you and affecting the ones you love, and how maybe the traumas that you have with your own parents are affecting how you're being a parent right now, or a brother, or a sister, or a mother, or a child even. How are you being a son or daughter to your parents? And I'm going to invite you to find that person that I think that your conscience is telling you right now that you know that you just have this deep-seated pain or resentment against. And I want you to find that person on social media, or you can write them a letter if it's not somebody that you can even open lines of communication with, or maybe you were a victim of rape or assault or something like that, and you need to forgive that person for yourself. Maybe write a letter and just burn it, or write a letter and tie it to a balloon and set it off into the air. It doesn't matter how you do it, but I'm encouraging you right now to drop all of these walls you have up and reach out to that person who hurt you, even if it's just spiritually, and forgive them so that you can move on with your life. Because one of the things I know is that you don't get looking like me by not having a lot of pain. And I'm not talking about physical pain. The physical pain I've inflicted on myself to look like this is a minor thing compared to the emotional pain I've been through to want to look like this. And all I can say is that it's powerful, man. I opened up my messenger and my text messages as soon as I got out of church, and I texted both of my parents. And I'm getting ready to write some letters as well, too, and just let those off into the air, because some of the people that I need to forgive are gone now or dead. I never get to have those conversations. And I know in my heart of hearts that this is the level up that I need, man, that I need to practice the humility to understand that everybody, no matter how horrible they seem to be or no matter how bad they hurt me, is also human too. And that they were going through their own struggles, and that despite how they may have hurt me, that most of the time they didn't hurt me on purpose. It wasn't because they were like, I want to personally find Justin Phillip Hadlock and break his fucking heart. What it really was is that their heart was broken too, and they didn't know how not to break other people's hearts. And when we can learn to forgive everyone else, we can start to really truly forgive ourselves for the things that we hold on to, because so many of us understand that we may be guilty of doing some things, but we carry shame with us instead. And there's a difference between being guilty of something and having shame, because being guilty means that you understand you did something wrong, and being shameful means that you think that you yourself are not wrong. I mean, like, are wrong, not like in how you think or feel, but like as a being you're wrong, that you just don't belong, that you in and of yourself are bad. Guilt is I did a bad thing. Shame is I am bad. And I think you need to take the minute to forgive yourself, because I know that I need to do that daily. All of us have things we're not proud of. And if we don't take that time, I mean, who's going to do it for us? Love all of you. Take a minute today. Give somebody a hug. I promise you.